Welcome to History of Businessmen. Today's episode is about Cosimo I de Medici and how he gained a lot of money for the Medici family. He transformed the family from being powerful bankers into influential leaders of Florence and other places. By using smart financial strategies, forming important partnerships, and making good business decisions, Cosimo made the Medici family both wealthy and powerful. In this episode, we will find out the main strategies that helped the Medici family become rich during Cosimo's time. Cosimo I de Medici was born in 1519. He belonged to a less famous branch of the Medici family, but eventually became one of the wealthiest leaders in Renaissance Europe. His rise to power not only changed Florence, but also shaped the Medici family's financial history. Cosimo's life journey, from being a teenager suddenly chosen to lead Florence, shows how he built his family's wealth and influence. Cosimo did not become successful overnight. He carefully planned, made smart partnerships, and used the banking skills his family had developed over many years. The Medici family's journey to wealth began with Cosimo's ancestor, Giovanni de Medici de Medici, who established the Medici Bank in the early 15th century. Through a close relationship with the Papal States, Giovanni made the Medici powerful bankers. His success continued with Cosimo the Elder, who expanded the bank's influence across Europe. Cosimo I inherited this legacy and used the Medici Bank as a base to expand the family's wealth even further. But his approach went beyond banking. Cosimo understood the importance of earning money from different businesses. Unlike some earlier family members who focused mainly on banking, Cosimo invested in other areas like land, mining, and even military ventures. These businesses, along with smart partnerships, were key to making the Medici strong in both wealth and politics. When Cosimo became ruler of Florence in 1537, following the murder of his predecessor, Alessandro de' Medici, he was only 17 years old. The powerful people of Florence thought they could control him, but Cosimo surprised everyone with his financial skills and strong leadership. When he started his rule, Cosimo worked to protect his family's wealth by changing Florence's financial system. He used the Medici Bank's lending network and made financial deals with influential friends in Europe. By ensuring Florence was a trusted place for loans and giving the Medici strong lending power, Cosimo made the Medici Bank important not only in Florence, but also across Italy. This raised the Medici family's status in European finance, giving Cosimo access to enormous resources he later used for growth. To make the Medici Bank more profitable, Cosimo changed how it operated. He invested large amounts of money in local industries like wool, silk, and mining. Even though the Medici already owned land around Florence, Cosimo bought more farms in the surrounding areas for agriculture and mining. Mining was especially profitable because Florence and nearby areas were rich in iron, silver, and other valuable resources. Cosimo began extracting and selling these materials to markets across Europe. By making money from other sources besides banking, he helped the Medici family's wealth grow even when the economy was unstable. This plan not only strengthened Florence's economy, but also increased Cosimo's reputation as a skilled leader. One of Cosimo's biggest financial successes was his work in the wool and textile industries. Florence was already famous for producing high-quality wool, and Cosimo expanded the city's textile business by investing in production, dyeing, and exporting Florentine wool. By controlling much of the wool industry, Cosimo turned Florence into a major center for textile production, attracting skilled workers and wealth to the Medici. To support this industry and trade, Cosimo rewarded merchants with good positions, ensuring Florence became a central hub for European textile trade. With the city's economy thriving under his rule, Cosimo's wealth grew, and the Medici family's influence continued to rise. In addition to expanding local businesses, Cosimo recognized the value of forming international partnerships. In the 1550s, he made an alliance with Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. In return for providing soldiers and financial support in battles, Charles V granted Cosimo special trade privileges in parts of the empire, like Spain and the Habsburg territories. This partnership brought new clients to the Medici Bank and opened up profitable trade routes, allowing Cosimo to do business with less competition. With Charles V's support, Cosimo gained the right to produce Florence's official currency through the Medici Bank. The florin became one of the most stable and widely accepted currencies in Europe, which boosted Florence's economy and increased the Medici family's financial power. One of Cosimo's biggest projects was building a strong navy and creating a Medici fleet. He understood that controlling trade routes required military strength. The Medici navy protected Florence's merchants, keeping key Mediterranean trade routes safe. To fund these projects, Cosimo used money from the bank, mining, and taxes to create the Knights of St. Stephen, a military group that defended the Tuscan coast from pirates. This investment in naval power not only protected Medici assets, but also made Cosimo a powerful figure in international trade, allowing Florence to play a bigger role in Mediterranean business. Cosimo's conquest of Siena in 1555 shows how his military and financial strategies boosted the Medici's wealth. With support from Emperor Charles V, Cosimo attacked Siena and eventually captured it. Siena was a wealthy rival city-state, and adding it to Florence increased the Medici family's lands and resources. By bringing in Siena's wealth, property, and tax revenue, Cosimo made the Medici family even richer. The fertile lands gained from Siena allowed Cosimo to grow more crops, boosting income from exports. He also invested in infrastructure within Florence and Tuscany, funding roads, ports, and fortifications that improved trade routes, making Florence more accessible and attractive to merchants and artisans. By creating a strong trade environment, Cosimo established a stable economy that directly benefited the Medici family's wealth. Cosimo also commissioned the construction of the Uffizi, originally intended as offices for Florentine guilds, but which later became an art gallery. These projects helped make Florence a busy commercial center and demonstrated the Medici family's wealth and power. Cosimo also supported the arts using Medici resources, enhancing his reputation and making Florence a cultural center. He commissioned works from famous artists like Giorgio Vasari, Benvenuto Cellini, and Bronzino, continuing the Medici tradition. He believed art was important not only for culture, but also as a way to show Medici power and create a lasting legacy. The Medici invested millions in Renaissance art, commissioning works that celebrated Florence and, by extension, the Medici family. This investment in culture brought scholars, tourists, and foreign leaders to Florence, boosting the local economy and adding to the Medici family's wealth. Marriage to Eleonora of Toledo. Cosimo married Eleonora, the daughter of the Spanish Viceroy of Naples. This alliance strengthened the Medici family's power and wealth. Cosimo's connection to Spain kept Florence stable and opened up new trade opportunities. Eleonora managed estate affairs and consulted with her brother on financial matters, slowly adding to Medici wealth. The Medici family also purchased the Pitti Palace as their residence, where they hosted dignitaries to display their wealth, further reinforcing their influence in Florence and beyond. Cosimo's financial strategies ensured that the Medici family enjoyed prosperity for many years. He created a strong economy for Florence by investing in different industries, forming international partnerships, and funding military and infrastructure projects. By diversifying income sources, he protected the Medici from the risks of relying solely on banking. Because of this, Cosimo transformed the Medici family from being primarily bankers into powerful rulers of Tuscany with significant economic and political influence. Cosimo I de Medici ruled during the peak of the Medici family's wealth and power. His strategies helped the family remain prosperous even after his death in 1574. He secured the Medici's status as one of history's most powerful dynasties by aligning Florence's economy with the family's goals. If you liked learning how Cosimo I made the Medici family rich, remember to subscribe to History of Businessmen. Each episode explores the amazing stories of the world's most influential people, showing how they changed history with wealth and strategy. Keep watching for more stories about wealth, power, and legacy.